Hello everyone, LG Programming here and welcome to my C Sharp course. In this episode, we will learn what is C Sharp, what can we use it for, how to set up our C Sharp environment and the C Sharp program structure. Before we start, just letting you know that if you have any questions throughout the course, feel free to send it in the comments and I'll answer it as fast as I can. So, what is C Sharp? C Sharp is an object-oriented programming language developed by Microsoft built on the .NET framework. But what is .NET? .NET is a software building platform that has two major components, CRL and the class library. So now, what can we use C Sharp for? Well, everything. Obviously, like every other programming languages, you can create console applications with it. But in C Sharp, you can do so much more. Using WinForms or WPF, you can create desktop applications, and you can even create multi-platform applications using Platform Uno or Avalonia. If you're into game dev, you can use the powerful and popular Unity game engine as well. And even if you're into web development, don't worry, C Sharp got you covered, and with the Blazor tool you can do that as well. For this course, we will be using the Visual Studio Community. If you have any other IDE that you would like to use, go ahead, but I do recommend you to install Visual Studio. So, to install it, we will write down Visual Studio Community, and we're going to enter the first link. Now we will press the Download Visual Studio button. Because I already have it installed, I will show you what it's supposed to look like for you. You need to choose the .NET Desktop Development. If you allow space, you can deselect the optional options in the site, and then an install button will pop up at the corner. Now, before I will explain about the C Sharp program structure, I will show you how to write your very first program, the most basic of them all. Now, we're going to create our own new project. We will press this button right here. We're going to choose C Sharp and console, and we're going to create a console app.NET framework. We'll enter next. We choose a name. I'll just call it console allow world and press enter or the create button right there. Now it's going to create our project, as you can see, and now we're going to write our first program of this course. I hope you're excited. So in these curly brackets, we're going to write the following code: console dot write line parentheses quotation marks allow world and a semicolon at the end of the line. Now, you might not understand the code or what we did here, but don't worry, next episode we will talk about it more in depth and I will give you exercises to test your skills as well. So, let's see if we can run this code. As you can tell, looks like it's crashing, but in reality it doesn't really crash. The program did run totally fine, it just ended and then closed itself. Obviously, we don't want that result. We want to see our code output. By the way, there is a possibility that your program might stay open. That depends on your Visual Studio settings. But if your program, like mine, just ended, we got two ways to change that. We can use what I normally use. We're going to write console.readKey parentheses and a semicolon. What that does, it's printing our hello world, and then the console waits for an input, a key, a pressing of a key. Let's try this one. As you can see, it works, hello world, and it waits for an input. I can just press any key and it would close. Now, the second option is quite simpler. We simply just debug and start it without debugging, and then we just press a key to continue. So, we've made it into the final part of this episode, the C Sharp program structure. Firstly, we got the namespace. A namespace is a collection of classes. A class contains global variables and the methods, and methods define the behavior of the class. In our program, for example, we had the console hello world namespace, which contained one class, program, and in our program class we had one method, the main method. Now, the main method is a special one. In C Sharp, it's the entry point. What will be written in that method will be executed when we start the program. In other programs, we can have as much as classes as we want and as much as methods as we want, and even multiple namespaces, but that will be for later. So, we're almost done here. There are just two final important notes that you should remember. 1. C# is case sensitive, and 2. All statements and expressions must end with a semicolon. And that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.